The big one for me is Anthony Davis. Points and rebounds. Over 39.5. I mean, when he plays the Pacers, first off, he absolutely dominates. Now, they don't count his stats in the play-in or the in-season tournament championship game. He had 41 and 16 against the Pacers there. He's gone over this number. It was like 3 of the last 5 games. He's continued to put up these numbers. I mean, as long as he stays healthy in a game, right? It could be game by game where you're watching Anthony Davis and you're not sure. Or here, I got it. Here's it. 4 of his last 7 games, he's gone over this. I needed the number. I was stalling. I got it. So that's exactly what it is. 4 of his last 7. But if you go back and look, his last 3 games against the Pacers, 36 and almost 17 rebounds a game. He dominates the interior against the Pacers. So he stays healthy, stays in this game, plays consistent minutes, had 41 and 20 actually against the Pacers in that championship game in the in-season tournament. Yeah. I was having a little trouble getting this all to load up here real quick. Had a little delay, so I stalled, and I'm glad that I stalled. That being said, this is a perfect spot for Anthony Davis against the Pacers.
The other thing that scares me a little bit, or doesn't scare me, the reason that I ended up going heavy on Duke is I love Houston defensively, but the way that they defended so aggressively against Texas A&M, like Texas A&M in that game shot 45 free throws, and they went 29 of 45. They only shot 64% from the charity stripe. You know Duke's probably going to get a friendly whistle tonight. We think. I don't know. I mean, but if they go to the line half of that, like if they go to the line 35 times, 30 times, they're not only going to make 64% of their free throws. And here's the thing. I have the Houston futures. Every year I play Houston futures because I love Calvin Sampson. I love how this team defends, and I love betting teams with, 4 or 5 year players, seniors. But every year they kill me from the charity stripe. And they went 21 to 30. They made 70%. But I don't know, man. I mean, they were shaky defensively. The number, I like Duke. I like Duke to at least cover in that game. But then again, I like Marquette. And, geez, they can't score.
They're down
24-14.
They're down 10.
But gone is like Matt Patricia. I like that, they bring back some of the dudes on the defensive side of the ball. They get a little bit better. I like the defensive line last year. I just didn't like the pass defense. I think the Eagles bounce back and at least win the division, probably win 11 to 12 games. So for me, I went over on Philly, and I bet them.
Yeah, I like the Eagles to win the division. I like the Eagles over on their win total. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to be. I do think we see major regression with that defense. We saw a bunch of guys get... They'll pay him. I'll tell you what right now, Ryan, I will make sure we pay Dak Prescott. He is our quarterback.
They might draft,
quarterback.
They'll let Dak walk and draft Quinn Ewers. I can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it.
Yeah, listen, Dallas just has too many question marks in a year where your coach is in a contract year. I don't even bother talking about NC State anymore and Marquette.
I think we're going to get one here, though.
Wide open threes.
Nope, never mind.
They just missed back-to-back
They keep getting offensive
threes.
boards, though, dude. And the Zags. Oh, there we go. All right. 11-point game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If we were in a legal betting zone right now, which you're thinking, hey, you guys are doing a betting show, why can't you legally bet? Well, I don't know. We stationed it in D.C. for some reason. But I would hammer the money. No, I wouldn't really hammer it. But remember when I said last night I don't use the term lock, but Illinois is a lock?
You don't use a Locky Lockerson ever?
Man, Illinois looks good right now, guys. You know who else needs to go away is Purdue.
It's at least they've made those types of additions, and then we still have the draft coming up. I just find it really difficult. Jets win totals 9.5, Bills are 10.5, Dolphins 10.5, Patriots way down there at 4.5. I just find it really tough to back the Jets still, man. Like, I understand you can look, like, I know you can look at them and say you've got Aaron Rodgers. There are some organizations, just like we talk about coaches like Matt Painter, who's on our TV right now at halftime as that Purdue game goes to halftime. And it's
4-point lead,
39-36. 39-36. Oh, no, is it
40-36?
40-36. Okay,
yeah, Ike had a wide-open three that would have cut it to 1, but, of course, he couldn't hit it to cover the first half number.
But, like, we talk about not being able to back certain coaches, a Rick Barnes, a Matt Painter in March Madness. It's hard for me to just believe that the Jets have snapped their fingers and things are going to be different this year.
Yeah.
And now I know I can look on paper and say there have been some improvements, but again, these are older guys right now. Let's see what they do in the draft. They have drafted well. I mean, we've seen what they can do in the draft. It's just too tough for me. I really, 9.5, that's a really, really sharp number. I think I probably would just stay away. I know you're all in on the Jets, but you've also been all in on the Angels before winning the division, and they've broken your heart. So I don't want to see you get your heart broken again.
The Jets are the ultimate boomer bust team because if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And I think like I was saying, like last year, I like the weapons, man. You have Breece Hall. You have a better offensive line. Right, with Smith, he's going to have to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. You do have some aging players, but anything's better than what they trotted out there last year. The defense is possibly the best defense in the NFL. And I think like last year, there was a little bit of regression on the defensive side of the ball because the offense couldn't do anything. So they were on the field so much because Zach Wilson stunk and anybody else behind center stunk. Tim Doyle, anybody else behind there. So what I'm saying is like everybody else in the division, I would argue, has regressed, right? Like the Bills, let's see what they look like this year. Especially on the defensive side of the ball, man. Is Micah Hyde back? Probably not. Jordan Poyer's gone now. Von Miller couldn't do anything last year, and he is back. I mean, he didn't have a sack last year. You know what I'm saying? And you lose Gabe Davis. We'll see if Curtis Samuel is a upgrade or if he's a downgrade from Gabe Davis, who it wasn't great last year. So I'm out on the Bills. Patriots are rebuilding. And yeah, I feel really good about the Jets, actually, if they're able to stay healthy. But that's the big if. Like, if they stayed healthy last year, I think they would have won double-digit games. So I at least like the win total. Probably not going to go as hard on, like, the Super Bowl futures or the AFC futures. But, yeah, I mean, I think that they could win 10 games. I think that that's actually the basement if they stay healthy, if Rodgers stays healthy. Like,
yeah.
There's going to be injuries. Every NFL team's going to deal with injuries. But, like, Sauce Gardner as a rookie was the best defensive back in the league. Breece Hall was so explosive, and he was still good last year. Problem was the lack of carries at times. And also, like, he was coming back from that injury. You're always better that second year. Thing that scares me, the organization. Big dumpster fire. Is Robert Saleh a good coach? It's the Nathaniel Hackett experiment once again because he also is Aaron Rodgers' caddy. And we're hearing these rumors, which I do believe with the ownership with Woody and Saleh having like screaming matches. But
how dare you? It was a lie by NFL Network.
I don't believe
it was a lie.
I don't. Yeah, there's always truth to everything.
Yes.
But I think the Jets. I feel better playing Jets futures, as crazy as this sounds, than I do Bills. Because I could say, okay, well, like I do it every year with the Angels. It's the same thing as people do with the Bills, though, man. Every year, the Bills are at least a top 3 favorite to win the Super Bowl. Every year, they suffer a painful playoff loss. And I don't think that Josh Allen is going to get past Pat Mahomes. I know he did it in a regular season game, that he probably shouldn't have even won that game, if it isn't for that late penalty. But I don't know, man. It's kind of like Jordan in the 90s. Like, that's the way I look at Pat Mahomes right now. It won't shock me. I think the Chiefs got better. I think Hollywood Brown is probably the best wide receiver that Mahomes has thrown to since Tyreek Hill. And I like Rashee Rice, but they're just two totally different guys.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I'm staying away from the Bills, man. Right now, Mahomes is Jordan, and Josh Allen is, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, John Stockton, whoever the hell it is that Jordan beat. Charles Barkley.
Go down the list.
Patrick Ewing.
There's a lot of guys that you can name there.
Alonzo Mourning.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I mean, there's a million of them. So.
Yeah. Bimbo Coles. Tim Legler.
now you've
Sasha Danilovic.
Sasha Danilovic.
Dino Raja.
There you